All right, greetings, folks. Welcome, one and all, to another date on the Journalist Hangout Show. I am Citizen Jones Hussein. Today on the program, Buhari tells service chiefs to wake up, just as farmers say banditry and kidnapping wiping out family income in the Northwest. Senate backs NFIU on local government finance, urges state governments, I beg your pardon, and FCT to implement new guidelines meant to protect council areas and their funds. And later on, we'll share this with you. Chelsea, Arsenal meet in Dream Europa League final. I'm hanging out, as always, with Babajide Kolade Utitoju. Jide, I greet you. It's the first Friday of Ramadan, so
yes,
Ramadan Kareem to our brothers
viewers,
out there.
Muslim viewers.
And of course, we have Mobolade Omonijo. I greet you, sir.
Thank you, my brother. I greet you too.
You okay?
Oh, by the grace of God.
Good. So the team is ready. I hope you are too. Mr. President's charge to service chiefs may, to millions of Nigerians, be a little late in coming, but it is here. For the second time within the week, the Commander-in-Chief tasked security chiefs to, in his words, ensure that Nigerians go to bed with their eyes closed, feeling confident that their security is guaranteed, end quote. This appears a tall order indeed. But there is such a thing as curing the cause to take care of the effect. This is a veiled reference to the proliferation of small arms and sundry infractions. Meanwhile, distressed farmers in the Northwest lament the heightened level of banditry and kidnapping that are wiping out family income in the region. Something close to a state of dystopia, Jide.
We live in very dangerous times, perilous times. And the president really needs to take extraordinary measures to address the almost total descent to anarchy in our country. The rate at which things are going, Nigerians will lose complete faith in the security agencies if we do not begin to experience some improvement and the security of our lives and property. And it's not a surprise that the president has called the security agencies, the leaders of the security agencies, to tell them to wake up from their slumber and protect Nigerians. Protect Nigerians. Let Nigerians go to bed feeling confident that they will not be roused from their sleep by bandits who are out to steal their belongings and even, or probably even take their lives. So the Chief of Naval Staff, who briefed pressmen, said the security agency, heads of the nation's security agencies briefed the president about what has been happening. And I'm tempted to ask, what did they really tell the president? Did they under-report the security situation? Because I believe that the service chiefs themselves should be really, really disturbed. And frankly, if they would tell the president the whole truth, then it will be difficult for the president to not let them go. Boko Haram is running riot at this time in Borno State. Even TCN substation was destroyed. They even came close to the state capital. And they've been killing people almost for fun, killing soldiers. In the last 3 weeks, Boko Haram has attacked a number of military formations and killed soldiers. Since we are not going to talk about the number of soldiers killed, but what the army cannot deny is that soldiers have been killed in the last few weeks. And we know where those soldiers have been killed, but we will not talk about the number of soldiers killed, because when you do that, they will get very angry with you. But it is the truth.
So sometimes there's no safety in numbers, especially at a time like this.
What could even happen is that the casualty figure could even top what was earlier reported, because when people are injured, some of them seriously injured, they don't survive it. So that is what you don't hear. When they say, oh, 30 persons died, it could be 35 in the end, depending on the scale of injury sustained by the injured. So this is the thing. We are in perilous times. People can go to the extent of kidnapping the president's in-laws. We must find a way to rein them in. They don't just did that. They went to Sokoto and killed the district head and killed other people. We must find a way to stop these killings in our nation.
Yeah.
So these service chiefs deserve to do a lot more. I'm not impressed by, when the service chief briefed the president. What did you brief the president about?
Okay. And what did the president want to hear? Mobalade, you know, as I said in my opening, you must cure the cause so as to be able to face the effect. The proliferation of small arms, you call them, and sundry weapons has been going on unchecked. Over time, we have recorded seizures of firearms and blah, 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 but nobody has been in the dock. I may be wrong.
Well, we've not seen many people really prosecuted for that. Even at the ports, we've seen loads of imported arms that they say they have seized.
Disguised as
one thing or the other. So many things, as it were. Some, they would have even left the port. They were already on the road before they would be intercepted, and then you say you have seized that. But we want to know how far the security men have gone with
arrests
that.
were made, I recall, in some of the seizures, but I have not seen their faces.
Even the arrests, that's what I'm saying. It's for security men. It's not just to arrest those you caught in the vehicle. Some people are behind it.
Yes.
Those you met in the vehicle are not likely to be the ones who imported. Those who imported are big men somewhere. We need to know so that everybody will know it's not business as usual.
Yeah.
As it is today, it is business as usual. No, it's business as usual. It's only when you have concluded your investigation and then you charge to court, then we get to hear the whole story of what happened. And people are arraigned, and we know that those who are behind all this, they have been charged to court, and others will then learn some lessons. But for as long as people know that they can get away with whatever they do, then of course they will continue with the way it is done.
Bad behavior will continue.
Yes, but beyond that, talking about this Northwest, Northeast, the president called service chiefs. He has done another briefing. Sometimes I read you have had 2 briefings in 48 hours.
Yeah.
Who does that impress? We've had briefings. It is the result that matter to us.
Yeah.
Then these men have been
tell him the truth.
Exactly. See, you and I were journalists. When you are debriefing or briefing your men, you know what questions to ask. Even the things that they don't want to say, they will be able to, things that they consider important enough, you know the skills that will bring it out.
We must let the viewer understand or know that the Chief of Air Staff told Mr. President, kidnapping is on the lower side now. Obviously, he must have his information, don't you think?
I don't understand the Chief of Air Staff talking about
Naval Staff, I'm sorry.
Chief of Naval Staff.
Media, yeah.
Maybe in his area mainly. In the south and all that. But it has been decentralized. It's everywhere now.
Yes.
The kidnappers are no longer restricted to any part of the country.
It's liberalized.
It's liberalized. That's the word to use. In the north, in the south, in the west, in the east, you now have kidnappers everywhere.
It's the most thriving business in our nation now.
There are cynics who tell you kidnapping is an advanced level of armed robbery.
Of course it is.
You shoot a lot less bullets, but you earn more.
Exactly.
We are talking on tax.
Untaxed.
But again, we are talking about the cause. Jide, come in here. There must be a cause. So we can begin to talk about effects.
Some people have kind of arrived at a nexus between unemployment and kidnapping, rampant unemployment in the north, and kidnapping. The truth is...
Sorry, JD, I find that pedestrian. Because unemployment has been here for moons and moons.
Yes, it's true. But when people suddenly discover that they can make tons of cash from kidnapping, that is the difference. That is the difference maker.
We have said it many times here. My state, I insist, my state, Akwa Ibom, has outlawed, has made kidnapping a capital offense. Edo State, Anambra, and so on.
You can make kidnapping a capital offense. The devil is in the enforcement of the law.
So
you remember some time ago.
Talk about the cause now. Nobody has been arraigned. For instance, advances.
We can say not many people.
Not many.
Okay, not many. I'm sorry. So not many people have been arraigned. Even those arraigned, we have this secutor's way of looking at the matter.
No, but even the thing is, what is the point? Even when we arraign, we don't see justice eventually served.
That is the
because
point.
arraignment is not justice served.
Oh yeah.
Justice, people have to see justice served. If someone is going to be killed, if murder is going to be committed, let us see murder. I mean, I said murder. If someone is going to be sentenced to death, let us see at the point when that judgment is made that, oh, may the Lord have mercy on your soul. As the judge, I sentence you to death. Let people see that for this punishment, I mean, for this offense, this is what happens, that this person gets punished.
So it doesn't appear we are forgetting anything here. Molade, you also know this. Over 3,000 Nigerians have been sentenced to death. They are awaiting the hangman. Not one of them, only Edo State and one other state.
Even this Edo that you're talking about was a long time ago.
Yeah,
And
2020.
It was because Oshomole was angry on a particular issue.
Yeah, but okay, but just
those
say...
in that same Edo, those who had been sentenced to death before that particular issue, did he also say they should go ahead and serve it? I have problem with the death sentence generally. I have problem with that.
It's too late to debate that here.
We may not be debating it. I have problem with that because really, at the end of the day, we've had death sentence for the armed robbers since the Civil War. Has it wiped it out?
Okay, so
Then,
you allow robbers a free rein.
You don't allow them a free rein. The law is there in every society. There are societies that do not allow for the death sentence, and yet, of course, the punishment,
the level of crime is low.
It's not as high as yours.
Those Scandinavian countries.
So Norway and co. What?
Is it too late to borrow a leaf from those countries we are talking about?
No, one is not even saying.
The Scandinavian countries are doing?
No, the thing is, those are the best places to live in the world.
Don't tell me you are going.
Those are the best. The opportunity comes, I will go. Those are the best places to live in. Those are the best places to live in. That is a fact. Everything that you want is provided, although you pay high tax.
I recommend
tax, so
I recommend
they don't joke
Holland.
with taxation.
I recommend Holland. Holland, so, they say prisoners no day for their prisons.
No, they are closing down prisons.
For want of prisoners.
Because those prisons are just there, nobody to occupy them. You see, when misgovernance becomes history in our nation, everything will fall into place.
That's the bedrock.
Those who need jobs will get the jobs that they need. The country will grow. There will be manifest growth and development. It won't be simply what is happening now, that politicians are just there for themselves alone. They will be in office for everyone. For everyone. And when you are in office for everyone, it means that the gains of good governance will trickle down to everyone. Even children unborn know they will own the country. You understand? They will feel proud in the country because they know that this country has a lot for them, that they have a lot to benefit from being citizens of that country. This is what is happening in those great countries of the world. And when you have, why do people really steal?
Yeah.
You have the basic things that you need. Why should you take to stealing?
There's an Abubakar attempting to reach us from Kano. Abubakar, I greet you. Are you there? Brother.
Hello, Stephen Jones.
How do you do, sir?
Stephen Jones, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Thank you.
Let's go.
Baba Judea.
Hello.
Let me just contribute to this issue of insecurity in the nation. You see, the issue of security is everybody's concern. It's not left alone with some few people. But again, some few people were assigned to do that responsibility. And Mr. President should be proactive because several meetings, several briefings have been going on. And what is the result? No result. So I think Mr. President should be proactive in this way. He should recall that he swears by the Holy Quran that he will protect lives and property of Nigerians. You cannot go and leave this country to go somewhere while your people are being killed. If you go to America, if one American is being killed, the president will come back to the nation and settle that problem. Our problem is not only the service chiefs, also the defense minister and the interior ministers and all others that are concerned with the security.
All right. Thank you very kindly. Omanijo, it is not out of place, tagging along with Abubakar's submission. It cannot be too out of place to discuss changing of the guards. Do you think the one answer, one way of going around the problem would be to remove service chiefs, engage new ones? Can we go there?
No, I think that should even have been done much earlier than now. This government has been in power for 4 years.
Too late now, even
no, it
today?
Can never be too late because the problem is still there. It can never be too late. It has to be done. This is even a convenient point.
So the problem is with the heads of the services?
That may not be the only problem.
Okay.
But it is a problem. And it is also a way of giving confidence to the people living there and Nigerians generally that this government really means business. Yes. It's a way of telling us that, look, I'm not satisfied with the state of things. And those who have been saddled with the responsibility, I'm not satisfied with what they have delivered. So we are bringing in a new set. So the people begin to say, yes, these people know what they want to do. And they look forward. And those who have just come also know why they have been brought on board.
Work hard.
But Jide, the French will tell you, my French is very poor, but then let me go English. The French will tell you the more things change, the more they remain the same.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen all the time.
Okay, really?
There are times when real change happens. And when real change happens, things of the past become history. So that is not a phrase that is
applies here.
It's not a kind of phraseology that applies at all times. So,
okay.
You see, if you want to galvanize the security agencies, let change happen. We've seen it. Look at what happened in Sri Lanka.
Okay.
The security chief resigned on his own.
Oh, yeah. Without promptings.
But this is Nigeria. The Minister of Defense is from Brine Magaji in Zamfara, one of the worst hit local government by banditry. One of the worst is from there. He's from Brine Magaji. He's unable to stop the killings in Zamfara.
This is a Nigerian thing.
Completely clueless about solving the killings in Zamfara. He can't even stop it from happening in his own local government. And people want me to believe that is okay. No. Okay. Let someone else come and do that job. Let us see what that person can offer. That is the thing.
Let me take us to Delta. Matthew is waiting there. Matthew, good evening to you. Welcome.
Hello, good evening.
How do you do?
I'm good.
Let's go.
Okay, we're talking about the insecurity in the country. I think we have a fundamental issue with our security, which has to do with the corruption. There's absolutely, a strong corruption in at the security level. Now, there's no check and balance with what the security authority does. The only time we're able to make our security apparatus strong is when those at the floor, you understand, are being, taken care of properly. You have a policeman on the road that doesn't seem to carry out his duty professionally because nobody cares over there. You know, I've seen a situation where a policeman is doing what is not right, and when you challenge it, they tell you, who are you? Call whoever you are calling. Give me my own, Jerry. You understand? That's to say there's a system that's totally out of place. So for him, he's doing his own business, collecting his share, his fair share. You understand? So that policeman wouldn't want to bother himself as to, you know, delivering service.
All right.
You understand?
Yeah, thank you, Matthew. Omonija, you know, the farmers in the Northwest, and I dare say in the Northeast, are crying out. The banditry and kidnapping, that's in taking the matter home, are complaining about their well-being, you know, they are affecting their well-being. And somebody from the environment is saying the bandits will demand for monies before you can even bring your wares to the market. It's crazy.
No, it's crazy. It's crazy. They've taken over. It's almost as if governance has broken down. It's almost as if in that area, governance has failed totally. Because if you cannot protect lives and property, then what are you there for? But see, it is not only those people who are feeling it or who will feel it. Those things are to go into the market. You need to see the number of people who go with trailers in normal times to the north to go and buy beans and coal. It's difficult for people to do some of these things now. It's affecting them. It's affecting the food security of the country. These are, the implications are enormous, and we are not looking at them. And we are not really doing anything very serious. All these, whether your stomach has gone down or has not gone down and all that, that's not the issue. The issue
you have lost weight.
Or that you have lost some weight. That's not the issue. The issue is that we want to see results. We want to see that Nigeria is not going to the dogs, that Nigeria is not becoming a banana republic. We want to see that Nigeria has a future. Yeah. We want to see that our children who are going to school now have a future. That
they feel a sense of safety. You know, that's very paramount. You feel a sense of safety. It means you can go about your lawful businesses.
Exactly. It's I have a colleague whose daughter was posted to Zamfara to go and serve, and she didn't bother. I mean, she didn't mind whether to go and all that.
That's where innocence comes in.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The child studied abroad and came back, and of course, it's not even familiar with the entire environment. But on the road, she was introduced, she was baptized into the system. You know, you had the shootings and the stoppings and all that, and distress calls, and everybody's heart was in their mouth.
And that's where trauma comes in.
It's real trauma.
Okay.
No, this is somebody who wanted to be a Nigerian, really. Because how many Nigerians who allow from here, who allow their children go to Zamfara or any of those places with all the things we hear. But now, she's burnt her fingers.
Okay. Jide, bury this by reminding the viewer that the Chief of Naval Staff also talked about Operation, what is it now? The one by the Chief, Puff Adder and so on. All these operations, to me, aren't bad, so long as they are holistically executed.
Yes, that is I can tell you that it's not impossible for us to defeat banditry. It's not impossible for us to defeat Boko Haram. But we must work harder. Yes. We must work with greater cohesion, all the security agencies. Look at what happened in Benue. The Defense Intelligence Agency, the DSS, the Army, the Air Force, they work together. The killings that we were hearing about early last year in Benue stopped.
So it's possible.
We challenged the president.
It's possible.
When we were discussing the issue all the time, we challenged the president that, look, show that you can solve this problem. Because the people, even some of the big men from Benue, they said, look, the government has failed us. They spoke in anger. And the president directed the security agencies to solve that problem. And the Air Force mobilized its best arsenal to Benue. And they didn't want to know whether you are a headsman who speaks my language or this, they just serve justice on irresponsible people killing innocent people.
That's it.
And peace came. That governor, the same governor, Tom, when the president went to campaign in Benue, he thanked the president. He admitted that peace has come. So if in a state where about 100 people were killed in one night, can have peace restored to it, we no longer hear of, herdsmen sack a village in one part of Benue. We no longer hear that. We are saying that it is possible if we work concertedly. If our strategy is right. What is happening in Zamfara is you hit them in Zamfara, they go into Sokoto. All of those states that are contiguous to Zamfara are no longer safe.
We must
attack them simultaneously.
We must end it here. But let the debate continue. I must emphasize here that Nigerians fleeing the country to safer environments, those environments are made safer by the citizens of this country. There must be an element of shame somewhere. All right, so still to come, Senate backs NFIU on local government finance, urges state governments and FCT to implement new guidelines meant to protect council areas. Please stay, we'll be back. All right, welcome back, folks. You know, the outgoing 8th Senate has elected to romanticize an age-long disputation, namely local government autonomy and direct allocation to the local government. The senators appeared to be on the same page on the issue of financial autonomy to local government councils across the country. Now, to the Red Chamber, the move is one that would deepen democracy and good governance at the grassroots level. The directive, slated for takeoff on June 1st, is resting on the shoulders of the Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, and commercial banks. It feels like we are a few hundred meters away from home. Right, wrong, contestable, and so on.
You see, I saw a story that says the new NFIU guidelines will hopefully check governors' extraordinary itch for using local government funds. Governors have turned the local governments to what I can describe as their caddies.
Okay.
Yes, local government chairmen are like caddies to...
Which you have in golf?
Yes.
Okay.
Because a caddy merely carries your bag where you have your golf club and all that. Everything that you do is the caddy. Yeah, bring this for me, bring this. So local government chairmen have no control over their own funds. Governors use funds of local governments to construct roads and other things.
And take the credit.
And take the credit. And it's because of the so-called joint account that they operate. I know that the president has always wanted local government autonomy. But you know, you cannot let that happen. You can't cause that to happen unless there's a constitutional, unless you rejig the constitution.
That's it.
And you have to go around the country. You do public hearings and all that.
In order to have a 2/3.
Yes, all the, in order to galvanize the people, and then the assemblies of the states will have to move a motion and then vote for local government autonomy. Governors have been spending money to ensure that that autonomy doesn't happen. Because, look, we've been on this thing for years.
Oh, yeah, a long time coming.
They've been frustrated because they have their eyes on the funds of local governments. It's only a few governors, like the governor of Bayelsa, and I think the governor of Kaduna, because he said that clearly from the beginning, that he does not want to touch local government funds. But the governor of Kaduna has had to sack local government staff.
For wrongdoing?
Well, whatever it is, that means even he is not totally in support of the idea of autonomy, because you have no business going to touch their staff. You understand?
Who should do that?
There is a chairman. It's a government.
It's not. It's a government on its own.
The council.
Yes.
You
can't go there. You can't go there and be hacking their staff now. You have your own staff. You see. So, governors, if there's a local government chairman that is not from their party, that is hostile to their own political views, they will make sure that chairman is suspended. Governors have no right to suspend local government chairman.
Absolutely.
Because someone who was voted into office, you now kick him out.
In quote,
through
voted
extra,
in quotes, yeah.
Yes, you voted into office, and then you kick him out through extra legal means. A lot of the governors are reluctant to even allow local government elections to take place. Look at the governor in Anambra. All these years. To simply organize, he's been there for so long. To simply organize local government election, he finds it difficult.
No, it started in the
As
time
well
of
as his
Peter Obi.
predecessors. No, from beginning.
No, I'm saying, I remember in the 8 years of Peter Obi, there was no
There
local
was no
government
election. Before Peter Obi, there was none.
So
What they simply do
the
is-
current man has inherited that.
Yes, but if it is something that is negative, must you inherit negativity and continue with
I agree
negativity?
with you. on that.
I mean, that is the problem. So let me quickly make the point. So governors need to be forced by the law to let go of the finances of local governments. So the NFIU thing is part of measures that can at least bring some sanity to the finances of local
Or a
governments.
semblance of it.
The issue of, okay, 500,000, that you can't spend more than 500,000. You can't withdraw.
500,000.
It's always been there. But I know a local government chairman here in Lagos who kept withdrawing, because you can't make a withdrawal above 500,000, who kept withdrawing 499. He will not get to the threshold of 500,000. But by withdrawing 499 several times in a day, he has already breached the law. You know, he had found a very interesting way of circumventing that provision.
You know, manager, you know, when the news came that the Ukrainian president is a comedian. I'm looking at a country like ours where Nigerians take comedians more seriously than they take politicians. Let me bring this home. In a red chamber, National Senate, where about 21 of them are former governors who fought against autonomy. For them, in the twilight of their staying there, joining forces, you trust anybody here?
No, see, as far as I'm concerned,
you smell a rat?
Even the Senate saying this and so on, it's just saying it. It doesn't make, it has no force whatsoever. Because even when you pass just a resolution, it does not have the force of law. And for it to even have any impact at all, it has to be in tangent with what the House of Reps also passes. And it's not an issue before the House of Reps at the moment. But it's not the issue. The important thing is the NFIU says the Section 162 of the Constitution lays out the tiers of government and how money should get to them. Yeah. And they say that some people, the state governments and governors, are intercepting what should go to the third tier.
Then take us to Section 7 and 8,
yes,
that gives autonomy to the states, but empowers the governors to lord it over them.
No, it doesn't empower the governors.
No. Let me help us. Section 7 and 8, the provisions are as baffling as they are unclear. While the statutes, the laws, recognize the local government as a third tier with its unimpeded rights, it gives the state government the autonomy to lord it over them.
Well, that's interpretatively.
That's what I'm saying. You have not explained how it lords, how it gives him the power to lord it over. Okay. You see,
no, we agree that autonomy does not exist.
No, we know that. Everybody knows that one. Absolutely.
It's not as if the governors are expressly permitted.
Exactly. That's the point I wanted to make.
To do the things
the
that
Constitution.
They are capitalizing on the vagueness of some of the positions of our law. It's just like, look, this Constitution, you and I know that this Constitution, the way it is couched, a lot of those sections should go.
Even those that are clear there. It tells us that a system of elected government at the local level is hereby guaranteed by this constitution.
Yeah.
That is certainly...
Which is the law.
That is the law. That is the ground norm. That is the constitution. It's the supreme law of the land. And then it is observed in the breach in most states of the country. You appoint sole administrators.
Yes.
They take you to court. The court says, no, you have no right to appoint sole administrators. Then you appoint administrators. You say, well, the sole administrator, they say...
And the governor comes into office. The governor comes into office. The first thing he does is to fire the local government chairman.
He dissolves them.
And appoint caretakers.
Yes,
Yes.
he will now appoint caretakers. The people that he met, they were duly elected, though.
Duly elected.
The first thing that he would do is to first sack them. He would dissolve them. They shouldn't have the power to do that. That is the point.
That's the point.
How can a governor, you are new, you just won an election, and the first thing that came into your head is to send packing the local government chairman?
Sorry, gentlemen, Abdul Malik has joined us. Good evening, sir. Welcome. Abdul Malik, are you there? Not quite ready. Yeah, so.
You know? So the first thing that comes to your head is to simply let this local government chairman go, because you think that when it comes to mobilization of people at the grassroots,
When it is election time.
they are the king.
Yes.
You know, so they are the kings. You know that they are very useful at mobilizing people at the grassroots. You want to put your people there. And then the resources that go to that third tier of government, you also want your own people to preside over the
That's
management of those resources. This is the reason governors are behaving the way they are behaving.
Bola, before we pass over, do you see this as a booby? And you have heard things like governors will always circumvent any rule.
For as long as they are allowed, they will circumvent the rules. We've been allowing them. See, I believe that governance is too important to be left to politicians. Politics is too important to be left to professional politicians. All of us must get involved. The middle, we are more at the middle, in between the forces. No, that if we are mobilized, we know what is right, and we decide and insist that it must be done, then they will have no choice. But for as long as we are docile and passive, then they will take advantage of the situation.
And you know what I once suggested was that even for those going to the National Assembly, there should be a minimum, that there are certain conditions that must be met before they can go in there. We need so many professionals in that Senate. Ex-bankers. Yes.
Professionals in politics.
Professionals, no, not in politics. We don't want a preponderance of professional politicians. I'm saying that people who have seen it all at level policy making, you know, these are people, some of them maybe experienced palm sex. They experienced palm sex. People who have been bank chiefs, people who have made it in business.
Because it is possible.
Yes. So if we have those people, remember some issues, they bring up some issues, and they don't even understand.
Sorry, Jide,
they don't even understand those issues.
The director says we must pass over. But let the debate continue. Again, if this is going to be for the good of all, time will tell. We'll take this breather and return. Okay then, you know, soccer or football is here to stay and poised to take your breath away. The 2018-2019 football season is one of firsts, whereas the last time the big one, that's the UEFA Champions League final, featured an all-English finalist was in 2007-2008 season when Man United locked horns with old enemy Chelsea in a pulsating championship game. The rest is history. Okay, this season is the first time England will be parading all 4 finalists for the Europa and the UEFA Cup as well. Not just that, it's the first time also the final would feature 2 clubs from the same city, that's London in England. The legendary home of football is on fire. For bookmakers, punters, and pool stakers, and forecasters, the season to make money is here. No less so, Solomon Ziogo. I'm sorry.
Okay. You are deliberately translating yourself.
It's not deliberate.
Okay.
Solo King Solo Boy is
You
here.
are going to be fine. It's a fine for you.
Solo, so England is on fire.
Yes.
Like it or yes?
Yes, and it has brought up the argument whether the English football system or the English league is the best in Europe. Some say
debatable.
Spain is the best, but with this, people say at the moment, England is the best. But then, where were the English teams when 3 out of 4 seasons Spain dominated European football?
Not turn by turn.
So like that.
But the final looks electric. Mubolade Omonijo is confounded. For the first time, this is the first time any country in Europe will be parading 4 clubs for the 2 top cups in the region.
And 3 of them are from London.
Oh, 3 from London. You can say that again.
And yes.
Tottenham.
That is historical.
Yeah.
That is also historical in, another side of the history, that there are not many countries in the world, there are not many cities in the world that have
Clubs.
3 clubs playing at the highest level.
Yeah.
In the Champions League, in a tournament of this magnitude. And so it's massive. So London is one of those. Madrid is another.
Yeah, okay.
Madrid is another. So
you can talk about Ajax, in Holland, Amsterdam rather.
Amsterdam, but
Yeah.
then you would have the teams in Italy, Turin or Rome, having to play in the Champions League. Rome particularly, where they've had teams.
Naples too, Napoli.
Napoli is just one team in Naples.
But I'm thinking of the years of your man, Maradona.
Maradona.
Yeah.
Well, that was the man who made the difference in Naples, basically.
Yeah.
But for England, this is a
the
big...
UEFA with them.
Yes, he did.
Yeah.
And this is a fantastic thing for London particularly and England as a whole.
Yes.
But you will understand that this is the 3rd time a team like Tottenham will be playing in any final on that level. They've won this Europa League when it was UEFA Cup twice before, got to the final 3 times. So Arsenal is playing in the Europa final for the second time. They lost the first time in 2000. Chelsea has won it. Chelsea won in 2013 or thereabout with Rafa Benitez in charge. Yeah. So it's beautiful. It's a derby in the Europa.
Oh yeah.
It's a derby in the Europa.
Omonijo, outsiders like you cannot afford to miss a moment like this. The home of soccer, England, is having the chance to prove to the world football is big business. I hear football is one of the things that keeps the country going.
Yes, and that's even the lesson to learn by us. It's not just entertainment. Football entertains, but it's also very serious business. When you see them putting up multi-million pound stadia and all that, and you know that it's business. It's not. They're not just joking.
No, you don't look at TV rights, for instance.
Yes, you don't deliver as a manager or as a player. You are fired. I mean, you are sold out. You are lent out to other clubs because it is big business.
Good.
Nobody jokes with that.
The lesson is for us eternally. Our football at a time was the toast of Africa, but we are playing, if not 10th fiddle, we are. Solo, I don't know where we're there.
There were times too when Nigerian clubs dominated the continent, dominated even the West African Football Union Cup, which was named after Gnassingbé Eyadema.
Okay.
Our own, what is supposed to be Champions League now, was named after Sekou Touré. The Champions League. The Champions League was the African Club Champions Cup.
Okay, right.
It was called. The other one was called African Cup Winners' Cup, which Shooting Stars won for the first time in 1976, and the following year Rangers too won it. Yeah. we used to dominate Africa. But today, we no longer dominate Africa.
You know why?
That's virtually in every level of the game, we no longer dominate Africa.
You know why?
We used to dominate Africa even under 17 level, under
I
20.
agree, but are you ready to hazard a guess why?
It has to do
Corruption.
with the running of the game. We must find the right people, those who have got ideas. And the problem is a lot of the people involved in running soccer, not just in Nigeria, on the continent, are too selfish.
Jide, if your FA chairman is having to, allegedly, you know, something is wrong.
There has not been any time in the last 20 years that someone in the NFA would not be accused of corruption. Even the late Taiwo Ogunjobi, before he died, he had a court case, you know, relating to corruption. The glass house was set ablaze at one point, you know, the caught fire at one point, and it was said that corruption was the cause of it. But looking at what's going on in England.
A former Secretary General is known, so I'm coming. A former Secretary General is known to have forgotten the jerseys of a national team, you know, at the, I think under 17.
No, it's not even this. That's not the only time.
No, I'm saying, you know, in Benin Republic, and nothing happened. The guy returned as the Secretary General.
No, you are right. We just need to be more focused. We need to be more serious with football, because the people running, we always want those who have played the game to run. That's the difference between us and those people in Europe. We always want people who have played the game to run it. But in Europe, the people running football are lawyers and business people.
Yeah.
Lawyers and business people. A lot of them have never played the game.
Omonija, quickly, before Solo rounds it off. You remember Aqua United needed 9 goals to survive, but they scored 11 past Rovers of Calabar, and the governor was so miffed, he disbanded the club. Part of the problem.
We've been having all this, but let me just quickly say another thing.
Yeah.
I think one of the problems that I see is that state governments control most of the clubs in this country.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
They own the clubs.
How do they run even the states? So why do we expect anything different or better? The way they run the states,
they can't pay sign-on fees.
We just discussed local government on running and all that. Then the economy also is so poor that people would rather prefer to go and play in the 3rd division
somewhere else.
No, somewhere else.
Let me put the issue in perspective. The man who currently is the president of the Nigeria Football Federation was the FA chairman of Delta and chairman Sports Commission. At the time he was in charge, the football club in Delta State, Warri, was the best club in the country that year. Played on the continent. But that same year, that club went on relegation. Players are still being owed. That is the man who is the president of the Nigeria Football Federation today. Now, there is the production line for players. Have you noticed that the best players that will go out to play outside this country and then come to represent the Super Eagles came through the league system? Most of the players today that we are recruiting into the Nigerian team did not go through the league system. At academy levels, they are already out of Europe.
From upstairs, they are asking, make you not turn their belly. So let's go straight. In taking it home, look at the final UEFA, Liverpool, Tottenham.
The favorite here is Liverpool, because Liverpool has a tradition in the Champions League.
Yeah, okay.
They've won it 5 times.
Yes, they've won it 5 times. And they are propelled to have one more ahead, to be ahead of Manchester United.
Yeah.
So that is the motivation. For Tottenham...
No, they are prepared to have one ahead of Barcelona.
But then they want to be ahead of...
Man U has not won up to 5. Man U has only won it 3 times.
They want to keep the gap.
They and Barcelona are both on 5.
On 5 wins, yeah.
But when last Liverpool...
But for Tottenham, it's their first time...
The money should go to Liverpool.
They won it.
They are the favorites. They are the favorites.
What about Europa? 30 seconds. Arsenal, Chelsea?
There is not much difference to choose between the two sides at the moment.
I think that
is the same?
No, if we look at the most recent results between both teams, you want to give it to Arsenal.
Okay.
Most recent results, yes.
The man is not convinced. Leave him.
No, but that's the truth. I do not particularly like Arsenal because a lot of their fans on Facebook are extremely loud.
I know go
They are
sit down.
extremely loud.
I know you are Man
But
United.
the thing is, if you look at
Their manager
the
is a
last
Europa
few results
Yeah.
between Chelsea and Arsenal
Arsenal
has
had
won
the edge.
more games.
Yeah.
More games. Whether it was the man that was there last year, or the current man, Arsenal has won more games against Chelsea.
But this is the most successful coach in Europa League.
Babajide,
Coaching Arsenal. So maybe-
I thank you for your time.
Maybe that's-
Gentlemen, we must go. Jide, your money on
did it,
Liverpool and Arsenal. So now we know. Solo, what about you quickly?
Well, I can't stick out my neck for Arsenal. I think Chelsea might just take
I feel your grief. You know, your neck is not that.
It's difficult to place him. He's a close-set Arsenal supporter.
We must
He's a close-set Arsenal supporter.
No, Heartland of
Hold it. Yeah, man.
I expect Liverpool to win, and I also expect Chelsea to pick the day.
Here we go again.
Because
My dad is a Chelsea
Arsenal-
supporter.
But mine
I go
is
for Arsenal.
I support Heartland of
Arsenal has
Owerri.
a track record of
But I expect
disappointing.
Chelsea to win this one.
man. Oh, come on. My
Where is Atlant?
Heartland plays in Nigeria
either way.
professional football.
We must go, gentlemen. We want to thank all of you for coming. But your money can go on this.
Because you, which one are you
Arsenal. If you want here.
to win the Europa League.
Oh, yeah.
What of the other one? Champions League.
Aqua United.
Aqua United is not in the Champions League.
It's not in the UEFA Champions League.
Please, we must go. All right, put your money on this. The Cup, Europa, and UEFA will go to England.
Yes.
That for them is
That's a prediction.
That's my prediction. Okay, that's it on the program this evening. Thank you for your time. And on other platforms, we'll show you on the screen now. Also on YouTube at youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. The feedback channel is the same. I am Jones Hussein. Bye-bye now. Take care.